Imagine starting 2026 not with a long list of resolutions you're probably going to abandon by February, but with a fire under you that does not go out. Imagine moving from the feeling of I have to do this to I get to see how far I can go. But team, here is the reality. We often look at the new year and feel heavy. We look at what we didn't do in 2025, we look at the gap between where we are now and where we want to be, and that gap creates overwhelm. And when we're overwhelmed, we don't move, we freeze, we stay on a conveyor belt of mediocrity for some of us for the rest of our lives. But what if the problem is not your discipline? What if the problem is how you are looking at that finish line? Team, today I'm here to share a shift in my own thinking that surprised even me. I'm going to tell you how a guy who famously hates New Year's resolutions accidentally found the secret to perpetual motivation, continued momentum. And we are going to build a roadmap for your 2026 that is simple, that is achievable, and that actually is exciting to wake up for. Team, let's do it. Hey team, it is Coach Bart here. Welcome back to the Built Resilient podcast, a place where we stop chasing the perfect in life and start building a real one. If you are new to the crew, hey, welcome. If you found us because you are riding the wave of New Year's resolutions, welcome. It's great to have you here. We don't do empty hype here. We don't do that toxic positivity. We deal in the currency of reality. And if you've been riding with me for a little while, hey, thank you. It's going to be an absolutely huge year. And you know the drill. If this brings you value, leave us a rating. 5-star would be great on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. Share this with a friend, particularly in the new year. And let's grow this entire thing and let's grow your better life together. Now we're staring down the barrel of 2026, and usually the fitness and self-development world is screaming at you. Right now, new year, new me, 10x your life, grind while you sleep, passive income, baby. And look, team, I'll be honest, that noise usually makes me want to turn off my phone, turn in a different direction, but we cannot ignore the transition that is in front of us. There is a psychological power in the calendar turning over. It happens every single year. And the question really is, are you going to let that turnover crush you with pressure, or are you going to use this time of year to propel you forward? And look, team, today this episode isn't about fixing you, and really this entire show isn't about fixing you. It's simply focusing you on the things you need to focus on. So today we're going to talk about the shift from drifting to driving to make this year the best one yet. Now, in the spirit of transparency, I need to make a confession. I have never aligned with the New Year's resolution hype. Actually, it even goes deeper than that. If I'm really being honest, I very rarely set goals. Blasphemy, I know. And then look, for years my philosophy was I don't need a destination. I just need a direction. I told myself that goals were limiting. I thought, if I set a specific goal, I'm putting blinders on. I'm shutting myself away from new opportunities that might be right in front of my eyes. I thought that goals, in a way, was closing doors. So instead, I tracked my progress. I worked hard, I moved forward, but I refused to put a flag in the ground and say that is exactly where I am going. And I thought that was freedom. But last year, something changed. I decided to run an experiment. I set 2 goals, just 2. One was a fitness goal and the other was a career goal. They weren't complicated, they weren't vague, they were very simple and very concrete. And do you know what happened? I didn't just hit them, I smashed them. I abolished them. I crushed them. But the achievement wasn't the best part, the feeling was the best part. Having those 2 flags in the ground, those 2 goals, they didn't end up trapping me like I thought. Instead, they ignited me. It gave me a reason to push when I felt tired. And when I crossed those finish lines, it didn't feel like, okay, I'm done. It felt like fuel. It propelled me into even more motivation. I realized I had it wrong. I thought a goal was just a destination, a place where you arrive and you stop. But I learned that a goal is actually a method of perpetual motivation. It's not about the finish line, it never is. It's about the energy it creates while you are running. So I want to make this very clear to you. I still don't think you should live and die by New Year's resolutions. A list, one goal, two goals. I don't think your self-worth should be tied into one simple metric. But I do think you need to set them. Because without them, you aren't free. You're just drifting. You're just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks. Now, enough about me. Let's break down how this matters for you in 2026. We often avoid setting goals because we are afraid of the feeling of failure. Yep, I said it. We all feel it. We think, if I say I'm going to do this and I don't, then I am a failure. So we stay vague. We say things like, I want to get healthier. I want to be better with money. I want to be fitter. But vague goals create vague results. Trust me, I've seen it time and time again in the gym. And vague results create zero momentum. If you've listened to this show before, momentum is what it's all about, team. The shift I want you to make today is this. Your goal is not your contract that you get punished for breaking. Your goal is a compass. And when I set those two goals last year, I didn't stress about them every day. I just used them to orient myself. If I felt lost, I looked at the compass. If I felt tired, I also looked at the compass. And here is a crucial reminder, one that replaces the idea that you need fixing. You are not lacking capability, team. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined. Usually, when we feel stuck, it's not a defect on our character, it's a lack of clarity and direction. The human brain is a heat-seeking missile. It wants a target. If you don't give it a target, it will find one for you, usually comfort, I'm sure we can all relate, safety, or perhaps scrolling on your phone. Giving yourself a target isn't pressure, it's permission for your brain to get to work, baby. Now, team, let's move into the solution. How do we do this without falling into that overwhelm trap? How do we set goals that feel like my experience, motivating rather than suffocating and life-encompassing? We use a simple and achievable method. This is the framework for goal setting in 2026. Step one is 2 pillars only. Most people fail in January because they're trying to change everything, the world. They're trying to change their diet, their sleep, money, relationships, reading, meditation. And team, that is a recipe for a nervous system crash. I want you to pick 2 pillars. That is all. Just like I did last year. Maybe it's health and finance. Maybe it's family and creativity. Don't try and renovate the entire house. Just find 2 rooms and fix those 2 rooms. When you limit your focus, you increase your force. We've got our 2 pillars. We then move into make it so simple that it is almost stupid. We often think that big changes require big complex goals. I want to run a marathon under 3 hours. I want to double my income in the next 12 months. And look, those are fine. I love a big, hairy, audacious goal. But let's face it, they are heavy. For 2026, I want you to set a goal that is deceptively simple. Instead of get a 6-pack, make the goal of I want to move my body for 30 minutes 4 times a week. Instead of get rich, make a goal of save $50 a week. Why? Because consistency beats intensity in the gym and in life. Simple goals get done. Complex goals get procrastinated. And remember my story. It was the achievement of simple goals that lit that fire. Not the big, hairy, audacious one, the stupidly simple one. You need to give yourself a chance to win early because, team, that creates momentum. We've got our 2 pillars. We make the goals so stupidly simple. We then focus on progress over perfection. And this is where the mindset shifts. Once your goal is set, you stop obsessing over the finish line and you start obsessing over progress. My direction changed last year, not because I was perfect, but because I could see the movement. I could feel the momentum. And if you miss a day, you haven't failed. You've just paused. You didn't resume immediately. The goal is the compass, not the judge. Now, team, I'm going to be a little bit different to the structure of this episode at this point. Usually, at this point, I give you a challenge. I show up and put something in front of you that might be a bit scary. I tell you to go and do something hard. I tell you to audit your life or cold plunge in a pool or have a tough conversation. But today, I'm going to flip that script. I'm not going to challenge you this week. I just want to empower you. Because if I know you, you're already ready to rumble. It's a new year. Let's ride this wave. Because if you're listening to this, the chances are you're already hard on yourself just like I am. Chances are you are already looking at 2026 and thinking about all the things you should do. But team, you are carrying the weight of expectation. I don't want to challenge you today. So here is the anti-challenge. You have permission to start small. You have permission to set a goal that feels too easy. You have permission to ignore what everyone else is doing on Instagram. You have permission to build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks impressive on the outside. Team, you do not need to crush 2026 in the first week of January. You just need to set that compass. You hold the pen, you write the story, and you are capable of writing a bloody good one. So let's be efficient today and let's wrap this up. Go back to where we started. I was the guy who avoided goals because I thought that they would trap me. I thought that they would stop me from seeing new opportunities, and in essence, I was afraid of failing those goals. But team, I was wrong. Setting those simple targets didn't close my world down. It blew open an entire new one. It proved to me that I had more in the tank than I thought. It proved that action creates the feeling, not the other way around. So, as you step into this new year, do not be afraid to put a flag in the ground. Pick 2 simple things, lock them in, and then watch what happens when you stop drifting and start driving. Team, my name is Bart Walsh. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm also a fitness expert. This is the Built Resilient podcast, and I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings for both you and me and this show. Thank you for watching/listening. As always, make sure you're following. Hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're watching this on, particularly if you're on Apple Podcast. And team, I hope you heed the advice. Keep the goals simple. Keep your direction focused. And who knows where you'll end up by the end of the year. Team, as always, remember to choose resilience.